Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about how you can save money when you've got horses. So it's sort of about horses on a budget, if you like. Now if you don't have horses, obviously lots of people wonder how much does it cost to have and to own and to look after properly a horse. And there are ways that you can cut back and save some money. So I'm going to highlight some of those ways in this video. Okay, so the first thing is you can see your horses need somewhere to live. So a place to live can be a livery stables, a yard. So that's where there are staff that will do services for you. Some yards are completely livery, completely full livery. So that means that basically you just turn up to see your horse and that's it. And then other yards offer services like that, but they also offer assisted livery. So for example, what I do, I am DIY. So basically I do as much as I possibly can myself. But occasionally, there are times when I need somebody to bring my horse in because I've got a work commitment or something else. And particularly in the winter and the autumn when there's very limited light in the day, and then you can pay staff to do those services. So that is that's livery. So you can have DIY, you do everything yourself. You can have DIY assisted, so you can have help with the livery, doing some of the stuff where the staff can help you, or you can have full livery where they do absolutely everything. Now of course there you also have the facilities. So prices for example DIY livery, probably there's big variations on prices, but most I see are around £165 per month per stable. And of course your horse doesn't have to have a stable. My horses before now have just lived in a field with a shelter, and that's absolutely fine. There's no reason horses can't do this, and that usually works out a bit cheaper. I think at the moment probably about it's about £90 a month field rent, so it is considerably cheaper. Okay, so the good thing about being on a livery farm is that you also get use of the facilities. So most livery farms will have an outdoor arena such as this. And an indoor arena such as this one. Livery yards often have a shower so you can clean your horse, and some even have a solarium to dry them in afterwards. Livery yards often have great hacking facilities as well. So obviously facilities are included with the stable and grazing. Now I mentioned other services that a livery yard might offer, such as bringing and turnout. So it really does depend on the individual person. So for example, for me, between the months of sort of April, May to September, I pretty well do everything myself. It's very rare I have to have them brought in or turned out, because the days are long, so you've got the light, so you can go to work and you've still been able to turn them out early and bring them in slightly later. In the winter, between September and sort of about April, May, I have to use some facilities. Some of the staff do some of the stuff for me, usually bring-ins, which allows me then to obviously do a day's work and then go down the farm to do the horses. They're already in, so I just have to feed them and muck them out on the evening.
Okay, so the next expense we're going to talk about is bedding. So I use shavings, but there are lots of different alternatives to shavings that you can use, so you best explore that yourself. Shavings are not the cheapest. And shavings cost about £10 something, so I probably spend £45 per horse on shavings a month. Hay is another consideration. Sometimes you can buy the hay on the farm that you're at, and probably about £45 per month per horse.
One thing I would say about hay is remember you will use considerably more in the winter than you do in the summer. So that figure of £45 a month is sort of quite hit and miss. It could be anything from 20 up to 45. I wouldn't imagine more than 45 for a big bale of hay. And food is another one, which obviously depends which food you have. So if you buy a bag of chaff, you can get a bag of chaff for less than £10. Whereas if you use mash, like I do with mine, obviously you're looking at more like a £16 for a bag. And that should last a horse at least a month, really. And of course we have to treat our horses. So my horses have fresh fruit and vegetables every day, not loads, but they have a little bit in both feeds. And treats. So things like pony nuts, a bag of those cost about £16, but that could last a horse a month easily.
So I'll probably say about £47 for food a month. Your horse will also need the farrier roughly every 6 to 8 weeks, so putting about £15 a month aside will do that. My horses do not have shoes, they are barefoot, so obviously that's much less expensive. And then of course there's the dentist. I would be putting probably £10 a month, so your horse can see the dentist at least once a year.
Horses need vaccinations once a year as well, so putting something like £5 a month towards vaccinations would help. And then you need to think about the dreaded vet bills. So if something goes wrong and your horse needs the vet, you've got to pay for it. So you either decide, are you going to pay for that, out your own money, or are you going to have insurance each month? Now, my experience with insurance is with my horses, I have a very old horse, and her insurance is really cheap. It's £15 a month. Whereas one of my other horses, my horse who's virtually blind and has one eye, he had some implants put into his eyes before he lost his eye, and that was done through the insurance. But once he'd had that treatment, it sort of maxed the insurance out, so then obviously anything else, I couldn't claim for anything else to do with eyes. And because other than that issue he has with equine recurring uveitis, he's not really a poorly horse at all. He's a strong horse. So I now don't have insurance for him. I just have a credit facility if I need to pay a large vet bill for him. It just weighs it. I just weigh it up. What's better? Because otherwise I would be paying well over £100 a month for insurance for him. So I'd rather put that money aside.
So as I said, insurance can be anything between £13 to £100. And then there's things like head collars, tack, rugs. I mean, I spend about £2 a month on saving up for head collars and stuff. I don't buy rugs. My horses aren't rugged. So obviously it depends how much, what you want to pay and buy for your horse. So that's very much an individual thing. And of course you don't have to do that.
Now, I haven't mentioned things such as massage therapists, so lots of horses have massages, particularly if they've had an injury. And then there are woolly washers, so that's where somebody comes to clean your horse's private parts. However, you can do that yourself. Okay folks, so that's just a very brief outline, and obviously I've given you some options there of how you can reduce how much having a horse costs. I'm not going to give a final figure because basically it depends which of those things you choose, which of the elements you put together for the care of your horse. Okay, right folks, I am going to leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed the video, found it informative. Can I just add that horses are the best, so they're very much worth every single penny. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and look forward to seeing you again. Bye.